Isn't she just a beautiful ship? The Minotaur, so glorious, the pride of the British cruiser line. Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we are looking at kind of an update. Not the update that is actually released, but this is actually the public test server, and I finally had, I guess, the proper internet speed for some odd reason. When I was trying to get on earlier, the download speed was downright terrible. It was with kilobytes per second, about 400 kilobytes per second. And anyone that does not know, the update required several thousand megabytes. So yeah, it would have taken me a few hours just to get this update. So anyways, I'm actually here, and I went and tried out the Minotaur, and oh, I love this ship. This ship is so much fun. I might do a replay. We'll see. But still such a fun ship. Actually, I don't think I can do a replay while I'm on the public test server and currently running the old, or well, the current update, or the current zero. What is it? Anyways, so a few things I wanted to point out. First thing is they're introducing campaigns. So there is two categories. There's Science of Victory, and essentially how this works is you have, so if you look at like task 3, if you fulfill this, and this requires hit enemy ships with torpedoes 6 times, fulfill the task in random battles with tier 3 to 10 ships. And if you do that in a random battle, you will get 200 free XP. And so if you see over here, we can actually undertake tasks. So we have 3. So this is replacing what the old system was, where they just randomly generated the task for you. And so they are going a little bit different route. So now you can actually kind of see what you're going for. So like this offers 50,000 credits for doing 10,000 points of damage to enemy ships with torpedoes. This one is win and survive 1 battle, which is sometimes for me a little bit difficult because I tend to be a little bit over aggressive, and that can come back and bite me in the ass. And then there's a unlock, and that's the final task. Okay, play 1 battle. So it looks like we have pens we have to do. I'm still kind of learning this, but it looks like you have to do at least all of them. Let's go back to missions. Yes, so you have to do at least a certain amount to do the final task, and the final task will allow you to move on to the second one. So that was the science. Now, honorable services. Let's see what this is. It looks like it's the same idea, but it's very specific. Cause 200,000 points of damage to Japanese ships. This one is hit enemy ships with main battery shells 200 times in a single battle. So that would be great for like the Habarashk or the Udaloy. Damage or destroy 15 main batteries. Once again, anything that fires AP or HE. Spot 2 enemy destroyers. Wow, that's kind of completion criteria. Battleship. Oh, so yeah, you see this is very, very specific, while the other ones were a little bit more open to whatever rewards. I'm sure they get a little bit more specific as you go up the lines. So that was kind of one major addition. I think they had a few little changes. I'm sure there was quite a few bugs that they had to or were working on. But probably the main thing that I really wanted to bring you here is, one, they have the Japanese line kind of fleshed out. There is the Akatsuki, which is basically the gunboat. No, sorry. This is not the gunboat. This is actually the replacement of the Fubuki. The Fubuki actually got pushed down to tier 6. So here it is, Akazuki. This is the gunboat, and I've heard quite a few beautiful things about it. I am definitely looking forward to it. Um, we'll see how this goes. So, obviously, the Mutsuki got pushed down to tier 5. The Minikaze is same. I think the Minikaze is probably going to be the better of the two because it has faster reloading torpedoes, but it doesn't have that long distance of 10 kilometers that the Mutsuki has. Now, the Fubuki got kicked down from tier 8 to tier 6, and it still has the 10-kilometer torpedoes and very fast torpedoes. So, yeah, I watch out for this. Hatoru, still bleh. The Akatsuki, which is going to be basically replacing the Fubuki, has the 3 torpedo systems, which I do definitely like, and they have triple torpedoes each. Unfortunately, I cannot see the actual info on that, but it is what it is. The Shiratsuyu. These names are going to be a little butchered, to say the very least. Well, looks kind of interesting. Like I said, we'll see how these Japanese line will go. Now, the Kagero does get dropped down to the tier 8. Kagero, I still think it's kind of even a disappointment going from triple torpedo launchers to 2 dual quads. And then the Yugamo, which is what replaced the Kagero at tier 9, has a very similar style, but the guns are hopefully a little bit better, at least I hope. So that's essentially the split line. Someone asked me why was Wargaming doing this. I come down to it is World of Tanks has a very similar tech tree. They have multiple lines that someone can go down, pick out a particular style that they may enjoy. So I think they're just kind of experimenting with this. So the game's not very static. Wargaming doesn't want static. They want the game to be fun, which I don't really blame them. Now, the other major thing that I wanted to record this and give you guys kind of this bonus video of World of Warships is, if you look at the tech tree in the German, we can see that there's something a little addition to this side. It is the German destroyers, and I am curious how they're gonna put the German destroyers. Like, how are they gonna fit per se? Because for the most part, this is just kind of a generalization. There's always little quirks in the Japanese, US, and Russian destroyer lines, but generally, Japanese destroyers, torpedo boats. USSR destroyers are gunboats, primarily gunboats until you get to the tier 8 and up. And then you get the US destroyer boats. US destroyers, which are primarily gunboats, but then they actually become more versatile once they get up to the, I believe it's the Mahan and the Fletcher and the Gearing. They become more versatile. They will use both their torpedoes and their guns. They have good torpedoes, so they're kind of a mid-range. Now, I'm very curious on the German destroyer line and how they're going to set it. Now, I did take a quick look through the tech tree just to kind of look, and it looks interesting to say the very least. Now, unfortunately, I can't see what these do. Now, these might alter the gun configuration, these might alter the torpedoes, etc. But this is just kind of a base on what I can see. So, very, very bottom of the tech tree is the V-25 Tier 2 German destroyer. And let's see, it has 2 main guns, but it has these kind of offset, interesting looking torpedo tubes, like they're V-shaped. So I don't know if they're going to actually turn, and it looks like there's actually a third gun right here, which I completely missed because, yeah. So I don't know how these torpedo systems are going to be. I'm assuming that they're going to have like a V, because that's the only way that they could even turn to either port or starboard is by moving together. And since they aren't actually narrow, it looks like it's going to be kind of a V-line spread. Ooh, that is interesting. So there's 4 right there. And then you have individuals over here. So that is a total of 6 torpedoes, all single torpedo launch. It's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna bet that's gonna be the case. Is they will fire individually because the British cruiser line kind of set up the basis for that. So that looks pretty interesting, and we'll see how that turns out. And then we come to the Tier 3, the G101 German destroyer, and looks fairly similar to the Tier 2. It has at least one more gun. It has the same torpedo setup. So essentially the Tier 2 with additional gun. Hopefully, like I said, I don't know how they're going to place this. It'll be interesting to say the very least. Now the Tier 4, the V170 of the German destroyer, it looks like they're switching more towards the guns. At least the guns do switch around a little bit. You still have this bizarre torpedo system. Let's see, you have 4 main guns, and you still have these individual. I don't know. This is going to be interesting. I'm really curious how they're going to do it. So the Tier 5, the T-22, and I'm interested on the names. So this is actually looking a little bit more modern. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 gun systems. The AA might be good, and you lose that bizarre torpedo system for the standard torpedo tubes. And you have 2 midship. I think that's it. And it looks like 3 torpedoes each. So, So I wonder. I've heard that the German destroyers starts off very torpedo. So essentially, the reverse of the Russian destroyers. So starting off as a gunboat, turning to more possibly using your torpedoes. So I'm wondering if this might be the reverse, starting off as a torpedo boat and then switching more into a gunboat. I don't know. Like I said, this is going to be interesting. So Tier 6, we actually get a name. The Ernst God, or Gade. I really do apologize. Like I said, German, not a language I speak all too much. Let's see. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like the 4 setup, the 2-2 setup, and the same system on torpedoes. But it looks like you have quads instead of triples, which is, I guess, an improvement. It is going to be an improvement. But still, kind of a nice looking ship. It looks very narrow. Hopefully it'll be fast. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, is a fast destroyer. So move on to the Tier 7. Oh no. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. I'm not. So the Tier 7 looks like it's very similar to the Tier 6. Like I said, unfortunately I don't have the stats, so not much I can actually compare it to the Tier 6. But still, it's nice to actually kind of see what they're planning on. And hopefully we can dream that it's going to be something good. Alright, so the next one is going to be the Tier 8, the Z-23 or the Z-23, however you would like to say it. It looks like the guns got moved. That's unusual. So now it's a 1 up front and 3 in the back, which is unusual. That's so bizarre. So the only time you really can use this is either, I mean, yes, you could possibly use it going forward, like at an angle, but you can't use it going straight ahead or straight behind. So it has a very odd firing arc. Now the torpedo system looks like it's the same as usual. You have 2 quads. So it's unusual. And you also notice that granted that the US destroyers are very similar in this way, but say compare it to the Russian destroyer line, They're still in single mounted turrets. They're not mounted in dual. And the U.S. destroyer line is just like this, where they don't switch up to the actual turret placement with 2 guns or 3 guns, etc. Until like the gearing. So that's gonna be interesting. We'll see. This is a very bizarre setup. So I wonder. I really don't know if that's gonna be true because these guns are so oddly placed. So I wonder if they're gonna be more torpedo orientated, or maybe they have a unique feature that no other destroyer has. Don't know. So tier 9, the Z-26 or Z-46, good lord, and the German line actually switches up to having mounted guns in a turret. So 2 guns on that one, and very similar to the Gagero with the 1, 2, 2. 2 in the back, 1 in the bow, in the front of the section of the ship. And 2 torpedo setups, 4 quads. It looks like they're sticking with the 4 quads. Now, I don't know. I wonder how long range they are. I'm going to bet they are going to be long range. So, finally, they actually kind of switch up. I'm really curious. They're really nice looking ships. They're not the worst ships, but this setup sometimes is very bizarre. So, that's tier 9. Let's take a quick look at the tier 10, the Z-52. And very similar to at least the Udaloy. I'll compare it to the Udaloy, since that's kind of what I have, where you have 2 guns in the front, or 2 turrets in the front, 1 in the back. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Now, this ship actually does look really nice, especially from the front. You have that beautiful bow. Oh, gorgeous. And then you have 2 torpedo setups in the middle. Looks like they're quads each. I'm really curious on what they're planning on doing, but it's still really cool to see. Well, anyway, really cool to see what's going to be coming, even though we don't have the stats for them. Now, here is actually something unusual that makes me kind of think that they might be going for more torpedo-orientated, is the switch up from the G7 Wolfsbark. Oh, good lord. Anyway, from these torpedoes to these. And so either they start off with horrible torpedoes, like really horrible, like the Tashkent's torpedoes going from 4 kilometers to 8 kilometers, or they are starting like the Shimikazes, where they have really long range, but they're very slow and very easy to detect, to more quicker and harder to detect and more deadlier. So they're either starting off as very short range, going to long range, or they're going from long range to very short range that are a little bit quicker. So we'll see how this goes. So this is going to be a quick little look at the new and upcoming update of 0.5.15, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I really do like this campaign because it really does allow you to pick and choose what tasks you're going for. Allows you to get them actually done fairly quickly. Like, I did 1 battle, and I completed 2 tasks. Granted, they were the first and second tasks, so they weren't very difficult. I think they were do 20,000 points of damage to a ship and destroy 1 enemy. So I kind of like this idea. Now I'm actually kind of curious. And I know I said I was going to end this, but I'm actually kind of curious. Can you switch? I'm going to bet you can. Yep. So you can do one from the other. So you don't always have to do all from that same line. And it looks like there's several missions. So, I mean, this could take you a little while, because here this had 40 tasks total. This has 119. So by the time you actually get it done, they'll probably have some new ones, or as the higher you go, the more difficult it becomes. So anyways, this is going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching my series, and hopefully you guys are definitely looking forward to the German and Japanese destroyer lines that are upcoming. I am definitely looking forward to them, even though I'm currently trying to complete my own other cruisers and destroyers. So yeah, this is not particularly helping me out with having to upgrade from tier 9 and to tier 10s. So anyways, thank you guys. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.